snowed. Now I'm mad. It snowed. I'm really mad.
On the men today. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Time for a review. Big K.R.I.T, Forever and a Day. Big K.R.I.T is a Mississippi rapper who's been bringing back the classier side of Southern hip-hop in a big way for the past couple years. He's been making mixtapes for a while, but he really started making waves in 2010 when he put out his album K.R.I.T Was Here. And he gained even more ground with a Def Jam signing and Return of Forever in 2011. And the dude's output so far has just been incredibly consistent, just really solid stuff. He raps on his own stuff, he sings a little bit as well, and he produces his own instrumentals. He is in complete control of everything that goes into his music, so rarely do his tracks ever take an unpredictable turn. Not to say that there's not variety on here, it's just that I rarely hear a Big K.R.I.T track that I find out of character. Whether K.R.I.T is going for something really smooth and soulful, like on the track Highs and Lows, or really hard-hitting and energetic, like the song Country Shit. He's always throwing production out there that has this really smooth, resonant bass, crisp highs, and a real strong southern flavor. The dude can produce, and he's proven himself as a songwriter too, because he puts some great, infectious, and extremely catchy hooks on his tracks too. I think the weakest link in his chain for a lot of people is his rapping, his flows. On his records, K.R.I.T does not display himself to be the most flashy spitter out there, though if you did check out the XXL Cypher or the BET Cypher last year that he was involved in, he definitely held his own against the other MCs that were there. Tons of technical ability isn't really what Big K.R.I.T shoots for. If you want to understand what Big K.R.I.T's appeal is, listen to the verse he dropped on that Roots album that came out last year, Undone. Vivid imagery, storytelling, passionate emotions, and it's all displayed in a way where it's extremely, extremely easy to relate to for the listener. Whether Big K.R.I.T is rapping about the worst things the world has to offer, being successful, or even just a fantasy car, he really tries to put the listener in the passenger seat. A lot of the time this gives Big K.R.I.T's songs a really kind of uplifting and inspirational quality to them, especially when he's rapping about how far along he's come in his career, because he's really putting a real picture of success out there, because it's not like climbing to the top is all money, models, and expensive alcohol. Success can be really fleeting, especially in the music industry, and unless you're completely clueless or really egotistical, you're going to have a natural hunger to self-improve, or maybe just have some feelings of self-doubt here and there. That feeling is kind of displayed on the first track to drop from this album, BOOBIE Miles, which is a song titled after a high school tailback that was looking at a pretty promising football career just before it was ended by a knee injury. K.R.I.T takes the track through a series of sports analogies and ends up turning it into a word of advice that if you're ever going to make it to where you want to be, you've got to be focused. You've got to be relentless, because you never know when your competition's going to creep up. Those kinds of feelings play as big a role in K.R.I.T's personal story as those high and blissful feelings that come with success. I actually think on this LP, those feelings play a little bit bigger of a role. It's almost like the further K.R.I.T gets away from the ways life used to be, the more he gets nostalgic about it. Me personally, when listening to this thing, I was catching maybe a little bit more referencing to his family and his friends and his girlfriend as well, especially on tracks like Yesterday and Red Eye. It's not a night and day change though, because K.R.I.T's usual subject matters and lyrical topics make it onto this LP too. But this overly sentimental attitude kind of comes through on the instrumental side of this LP too. Here, Big K.R.I.T is sampling just a little bit more smooth jazz, R&B, and soul. And it's given a lot of these tracks a really strong emotional foundation. Like the tracks BOOBIE Miles and Yesterday are just built on that hot buttered soul of guys like Isaac Hayes, Curtis Mayfield, and Marvin Gaye. The song Handwriting actually samples a sultry cut from Ann Peebles' Handwriting is on the Wall. It's actually a track Wu-Tang Clan sampled as well on their 2001 album Iron Flag. The track Red Eye has some really somber piano chords on it, and that's not the only track on here that just has maybe a little bit more atmosphere around it, some shimmering instrumentation, some prettier sounds, just some more high gloss sheen. The track Me and My Old School even has these reverb-soaked flute solos kind of fluttering all over the place in between these cascading layers of string sections. I think it's definitely the prettiest instrumental Big K.R.I.T has put together so far. K.R.I.T even invites guest musicians onto this LP to perform on these tracks. The song Wake Up has there are some more familiar sounds on this thing though, like the track Forever and a Day, the title track, which sounds like a variation of the title track from Big K.R.I.T's previous album. Same with the songs 1986 and Country Rap Tunes. Those songs also kind of feel like different takes on K.R.I.T's usual sound, but different enough to still kind of be enjoyable, especially 1986, which has a really interesting change up in the beat toward the end of the track. It's almost like it changes into a totally different song toward the end. But one of the most exciting songs on here, or maybe the most affecting songs on here for me, is definitely Package Store. The opening bar on that track about the preacher trying to pick up a prostitute with collection money from the church is just so dark and twisted, especially when it's kind of backed up with the line about snakes in the grass too. And the last track on here, the closer, The Alarm, is kind of like this really just fiery, intense, philosophical wake-up call. There's this really kind of operatic vocal toward the end of the track and this instrumental swell that's pretty gorgeous. Overall, the album's great, but if I had to get a little nitpicky with it, some tracks did kind of pale in comparison to others. Definitely tracks like Wake Up and Yesterday could have developed a little bit more, gotten a little bit more detail into the instrumental as the song progressed. Some spots here felt maybe a little bit too lovesick. I felt like the last track could have used a lot more lyrics, but still, I enjoyed this a lot. This was great, and between this, Return to Forever, and K.R.I.T was here, this guy's been on an incredible streak. It's only kind of making the build up to his kind of major label debut, Live from the Underground, even more intense to me. Just feeling a decent to strong 8 on this thing. What do you guys think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Anthony Fantano, Big K.R.I.T, Forever and a Day, forever.